Hey everyone, it's Jodi here, your Wednesday host for SelFTMade. I hope everyone's having a good week. I'm having a crazy busy day, but it's all good. It happens, especially on Wednesdays. But anyway, I'm going to jump into this week's topic, which is when to disclose your trans status while dating. And so I think that there's various ways that you can do this. One, you can disclose like right away. Two, you can wait until you're more comfortable with that person. Or three, maybe you don't feel like you need to disclose for whatever reasons, and that's okay too. It's not like everyone discloses, that they have, I don't know, like genital herpes right away to people or anything like that, but some people do, some people don't, so I think that it's really up to you. And so how I usually do it, it just depends on how comfortable I am with that person and like their knowledge about the trans community. So I usually don't tell people right away. I usually wait until I get to know the person a little bit better and kind of get a feel of like their understanding, what they know about the trans community. So I like to do like pre-questions. So I'll ask them, do you support like the LGBTQ plus community? What do you know about the trans community? What do you know about, just the community in general to make it kind of more generalized? And just going from there. And typically, I will always disclose before being intimate with somebody because that's just my personal preference. So if I feel like I'm going to be intimate with that person at some point, then I will tell them. And one of two things are going to happen at that point that have happened to me. Either one, the person's going to be like, no, or I guess they could freak out. Nobody's ever freaked out at me, but it could happen. Or two, they just start asking lots of questions about certain stuff. And so I have actually backed out of having an intimate relationship because I felt somebody was like fetishizing me. It's a tongue twister today for some reason. And so I have stepped out of that situation and away from that person because they were making me really uncomfortable. And that's always my like biggest fear, is that people are just going to turn me into a fetish and it's going to be really creepy and awkward, and then it just kind of like snowballs down the hill. But I've typically always had good experiences with dating and disclosing my trans status. Some people I've met are like, okay, whatever. Other people are, they don't really understand like the dynamic, and they don't know a lot about the trans community. So then it just kind of turns into like an educational session, and then we just become really good friends. Outside of that, dating is always complicated. And so you have to take it in strides, and having kind of one thing to worry about the most is really hard. But I always try to remember that I don't want that person to make it a big deal, so I try not to make it a big deal when telling them that personal information. And so with that, I think it goes over pretty well. And if they say no, like that, if they say like they don't know a lot about the trans community, or they, shoot me down, I try not to take it personal, because maybe one, like they just don't really know how to take that, and maybe you're the first trans person that they've been interested in an intimate way. Sorry, there's a B like right there. And so maybe they just need to take a step back and kind of rethink and maybe do some education stuff on their own. But it's kind of hard always to not take it personal. But maybe let them say no at first, and then if you guys are still talking and hanging out, maybe try again next time, try again later, something like that. Ask them next time if they have any questions or concerns or anything like that, and maybe you can understand more of their perspective, or ask them how they're feeling about it and like what they know and understand. And if they have any questions for you, be open to answering those questions, because I think that intimate relationships are always hard to navigate, but they have to be navigated in very specific ways for those two people involved in the equation. Maybe there's more, that's fine too. But typically it starts off with two people, and so you have to negotiate it between the two of you. So you have to understand each person's perspective and try not to take it too personal. So I'm going to stop the video there. If you guys have any questions for me, please comment down below, and I will see you guys next Wednesday, and hopefully some of the other guys on the channel will have some other advice for you. Alright? Peace.